Good Tuesday morning to you. This is the VELCO Weather Hazards Outlook. This will be valid the rest of today, Tuesday, through next Monday, October the 19th. Well, you can see the cold air is bottled up across portions of the northern areas of northern Canada into Alaska. Some of that's been sinking down into the higher elevations of the Rocky Mountains. As of right now, it looks like some of this is going to be making a visit into parts of southeastern Canada and the northeast U.S. That happens toward this coming weekend. Unsettled weather with numerous small disturbances will trigger a few light showery episodes and progressively colder conditions. This will be going into our coming weekend. The first early season snows may be a travel issue across our higher terrain, but not a utility threat as it looks right now. This will happen from basically late in the day on Friday or into Friday night and through about Sunday, with the coldest air so far this fall season and likely the end of the growing season for many, as temperatures will drop below 30 degrees for just about all of the area. Out west, Pacific North American ridgings continuing, cutoff low, kind of a Rex block configuration where you have a cutoff low, very stable weather pattern. And this is going to continue and amplify this ridge with shortwave troughs going over the top of the ridge and then diving down into the mean wave trough position. There is some high latitude blocking over Greenland, and that's what's forcing this buckling of the jet stream. Eventually, a lot of this cooler air is going to be circulating into the region, and it's going to be arriving for us during the weekend. And looking at the 6-hourly panels, this is valid later this evening at around 8 p.m. We have a weather system that'll be working on in across the southeastern Canada east of the Great Lakes and spreading precipitation across the region for later today. This could actually trigger a few isolated sparse lightning strikes, some isolated thunderstorm activity mixed in with some embedded rain showers. And this will track pretty quickly out of the region so that we'll see probably partial clearing later overnight tonight. And looking as that moves on through, you can see after 0Z, we have a tendency to see a lot of that moisture start to dry up a little bit. And this is valid by 12Z tomorrow morning or 8 o'clock in the morning. So another batch of passing showers works on through. Incidentally, these bluer lines, this is what we want to watch, the 5,400 meter thicknesses. Anything below that, typically in the higher elevations, we'll start to see some wet snowflakes. And you can almost associate this with the freezing level, although it's a little bit more complicated than that. But the thicknesses of the atmosphere are a crucial indicator of whether you get snow or rain. So anytime you're in the blue, the chances are you could see some wet snowflakes, at least in the higher elevations. We're talking the tip tops of our local green mountains and whatnot. So you see there's another weather system moving in. This is going to be valid on Friday, actually Thursday night. And this system may produce a little bit of wet snow across the upper elevations, places like Jay Peak and whatnot. But you can see the colder air progressively gets in here for this weekend with a big trough that's carved out. Warm, all rain here except in the highest terrain. And then this is colder air, and you can see a series of weather systems working on through. This would be valid on Saturday afternoon. Just to run that through here again. And so this is probably the coldest period right here where the coldest air aloft is going to be. And that's a possibility Sunday night of seeing some wet snow shower activity that could get down to the valley floors. Probably not the Champlain Valley. Probably not many of our local valleys of, say, southeastern Vermont, southern Vermont. But northern areas, northeast kingdom, we could see a little bit of a dusting to potentially maybe a couple inches of snowfall. All of that is speculation this far out, however. But you can see the trends. We start out, that trough digs down. Some moisture comes off the Great Lakes. You can see a little bit of that lake effect moisture as well. Streamers. Anytime you see a little bit of streamer action downwind of the Great Lakes, you know that starting to interact with the colder air as it works on through. And those Great Lake temperatures, the water temperatures are well above normal even, and they're pretty warm. And so we're going to see a lot of lake effect snows this fall in the first half of this winter. But look what happens thereafter. This is quite a ways out. You're looking at next Tuesday of next week. We start to cold air blows on out of here, and we get into some more rain showers with another weather system. Things look to be a little bit unsettled going into next week, but I think the sort of quick-moving disturbances this week will be the main issue, although mostly in the form of rain showers with no utility threats either way, even if we see a little bit of accrual snow. This is the surface temperature anomalies, and you can see we're well above normal. And as we get into slightly cooler air, this is becoming valid now Wednesday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We cool down below normals for this time of year, and we continue to do that, though it's kind of a slow pace. By the time we get into Thursday night into Friday morning, we can see the solidly cooler weather begin to work in, and temperatures end up this weekend. See, this is running about 12Z. This is somewhere between 10 and 14 degrees below normal for this time of year. That's a pretty good shot, and that may be good enough to get some snow down to the valley floors, as just shown. And then look what happens thereafter. The coldest air begins to work on out. It gets blown out of here by some a zonal flow, and the temperatures start to warm back up, so much so that roughly about 8-9 days out, we're looking at temperatures that are going to be running above normal, and those temperatures could be well above normal in a few spots. This is the GFS ensemble model combining the Canadian with the GFS, and you can see that this is our showers we're going to see today, with the potential for a few lightning strikes, mainly the southern and western portions of the state. And then sporadic rainfall. This is the other system that comes in later in the week, and you'll notice the blue whiskers here, meaning snow, and some potential to see a little bit of light snowfall. Nothing of any great shakes, however. 7-day accumulated precipitation totals by the Water Prediction Center show that the northeast U.S. has some precip to contend with. We're looking at the blue line here, roughly about 1 inch, 1.5 inches downwind of Lake Ontario, suggesting some lake effect enhanced precipitation there. And other parts of the country, not a big deal, nothing really to see here. Temperature change, probably a biggest story here in the mid to late part of the week going into this weekend. Temperatures going below normal by about 6 degrees. These are average max temperatures. Some 3 days later, temperatures increase or go a little bit more negative, a little colder, and running about 9 degrees below normal. Notice the west stays the same. We have that big amplified ridge out west, Pacific North American Ridge as we call it, and of course the cooler downwind trough. Courtesy of the Iowa State Meteogram, this is the temperatures. Today's high will be the warmest day of the week. We see the second warmest day during the day tomorrow, and almost the same on Thursday. Thursday may turn out to be a pretty nice morning up until the late part of the afternoon, when some more showers will begin to roll into the region. And you can see temperatures incrementally slide, so that we're looking at basically over the weekend, starting from Friday night, we're susceptible to some higher elevation snows. Dew point temperatures come accordingly. Not really that moist with a 55 dew point for today, but there is that isolated lightning strike potential, and then we see those dew point temperatures fall accordingly. In the wind department, nothing really to worry about here. We see some gusts up around 35. This is the WRF. I don't see anything from the European nor the GFS that warrants any worries at this point in time. This is the European deterministic model showing our high temperatures today. These run a little bit low, so they have a cool bias. The nighttime lows are about accurate, so you can see the general trends with the coolest weather getting in here, with highs only basically in the upper 30s to about 40. That'll be taking place on Sunday. These are bars of precipitation. We're not talking about very much. This is only 0.14 of an inch over a six-hour period, so you can get the idea. Kind of light and scattered showery episodes, and then we start to pull out. This looks like the best project weather day coming. That would be on Monday of next week. And looking at the mid to long range, this is valid this coming Friday. You can see a little bit of a cooler shot here that's developing across parts of Canada and then sliding into the northeast U.S. And this is, just think of it in terms of a signal and rather not the actual temperatures. You can see there's our cool period. This is valid Sunday evening. That's Monday evening, and then it works on out of here. And you can see that warm-up landing right over us by next Wednesday and into the day on Thursday. After that, a little bit of a cool down, but the signal is a lot weaker, so it doesn't look to be as strong or intense. And then we continue, and temperature is really either at neutral or a little bit above normal. And I don't see a whole lot of cool downs until very late This is about the 1st of November now. Roughly about the 1st, we might see a little bit of something here in the Canadian Maritimes. This is a cool signal, though. That's 26 days out, and that's valid on the 7th of November, and that looks pretty strong for a pretty good signal there this far out. Think of it in terms of the signal strength, and of course, the further out in time you go, the weaker the signal is going to be to kind of give you some kind of heads up on what's going on. But that's fairly significant there. That's a real cold shot of air, I suspect. That would be along about the 7th of November. But then it moves right on out, and the signal is that we warm right back up. So looks like a big roller coaster ride. A lot of oscillations will be taking place for the rest of the month and into the month of November. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights.